Hi, so winter is almost upon us. Yes, CAT 2022 is just round the corner. Keeping this in mind, we know each and every one of you is really excited but is also looking for the last final push and the fillip that is going to add those extra 5, 10, 15 percentile to your final CAT score. Well, because of this, BYJU'S exam prep brings to you the last lap to CAT 2022 starting on the 17th of October all the way till the 20th of November. Yes, 4.5 intensive, in fact almost 5 intensive weeks of preparation. What more, the focus is predominantly going to be CAT, which means, as we know, time, speed, distance and time and work in totality have almost equal weightage or sometimes even more weightage than geometry. So can we go ahead and leave geometry and just focus on these two? Can we go ahead and leave entire theta para jumbles and still score a 99.99 percentile in verbal? Yes, we can. This and much more in terms of preparation, in terms of intensive questions that we're going to look at and the smartest way of going ahead and solving that. So catch us on the BYJU'S exam prep app, and in case you missed that, on YouTube. But go ahead, download the BYJU'S exam prep app and also get a 99 percentiles kit which is going to help you ace CAT 2022. See you soon.
A very good noon to all of you. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible. Hi Pragya, hello Varun. Hi Apurva, Disha, Abhishek. Hello Maitri. Good noon all of you. Hi Abhishek, Prachi, Gibson. A very good afternoon and a happy Guru Purab to all of you. Right, so today we continue with our series of the most important VRC questions. And as I told you, because last month a lot of you asked for more of VA questions, para-jumbles, para-summary. So that's why I have been covering para-jumbles and para-summary questions in this series. Right, so we will look at some more para-jumbles, para-summary questions today. We will address any queries that you have while attempting these questions, and we'll see how to increase your score in these. Right, that's on the agenda for today. A very good noon. Okay, any queries? Yes, we do have the option to see the whole question paper at once. Harsh, preview paper, preview, there's this option there, right? Uh, the questions are also visible there. The questions are also visible, yes. Does the score pop up on the screen after submitting CAT test? No, Nidhi, no. NMAT gives you instant result, okay, but CAT does not. The result is declared at a later date. A very good noon. Yes. So let's begin. Now, see this. This is what I've already told you, right? But let's just look at it. We'll look at some questions, of course, right? And through the questions, we are going to learn the approach to solving them. Okay. So now these are the instructions for your type in the answer para jumbles in the exam also. There are 4 sentences. So as I told you for the last some years, okay, 4 sentences have been asked, but when these questions were asked initially in CAT, when this was introduced in CAT, type in the answer para jumbles, there used to be 5 sentences, which used to be a challenging task. Yes, you have to arrange all 5 sentences on your own. Then later on, it was reduced to 4 sentences. So that's why, in these sessions, I have been bringing one 5-sentence question and a couple of 4-sentence questions for you. Okay, today we'll focus more on para summary. That's what my focus is on today. But we'll begin with type in the answer para jumbles. Let's have a look at this question. 5 sentences here. You have to arrange them in a sequence and then tell me the sequence, right? So let's see who answers the fastest and the most accurately here. Yes. Jonathan, as per last year, yes, 45 will fetch you a 99 percentile. Oh, okay. Is there an option to retake the mock, Dipankar? Does that option appear? I think once the results are out, probably that option could get activated for you. Okay. Prajwal have already answered. Others, let's see. Okay. Two responses I've got so far. What else? 25431. Okay. Two such sequences. All right. Others? That's it. Just three responses. Okay. 25431. All right. 25431 and 25413. So very close sequences I've got in this. Any other? Okay, all right. Dipankar, all the best. I hope it gets resolved. So, see this. Here, 2 is clearly the introductory sentence, isn't it? Because no other sentence talks about the organisms. It actually names the organisms that we're talking about. They're fiddler crabs, right? The two neighbors, which neighbors, what kind of neighbors, I don't know. They pushed. Okay, so again a pronoun. 17 cases in which a resident, are we talking about human beings? No, we are not, right? Intruder males, males of which organism? So that is mentioned in 2 only. So absolutely correct that 2 is the opening sentence here, right? So coming to what we are talking about in 2. Fights involving 3 male fiddler crabs have been recorded, but the status of the participants was unknown. So this is what we want to find out. The status of the participants, the status of these fiddler crabs. So because we wanted to find it out, what we did? We therefore, see this therefore is a clue here. We therefore tracked 268 intruder males. So this is their status, intruder males, until we saw them fighting, this was a typo, until we saw them fighting a resident male. This was the status of the other male. So intruder male is fighting a resident male. All right. So then what was the result when they tracked this? We recorded 17 cases in which a resident that was fighting an intruder was joined by an immediate neighbor, an ally. So out of these 268 cases, in 17 of them, the resident was joined by an ally, a neighbor. Absolutely correct. Now see, the two neighbors never fought each other. The two neighbors. So there are 3 crabs that are fighting. Yes, there are 3 male crabs that are fighting. Now, one of them is an intruder, one of them is a resident. The resident is joined by an ally, basically a neighbor. Okay. So now I'm saying that the two neighbors, they never fought each other. They pushed or grappled only with the intruder. They pushed or grappled only with the intruder. So it should be 1 and then 3 and not 3, 1. Okay. Neighbors. Yes, neighbors are the they. Neighbors are the they. They pushed and grappled only with the intruder. So if they are grappling with the intruder, what is the other group? The residents. So who are the residents? The neighbors, right? So that is why 1. Good. Those who said 1, 3. Okay. Prajwal answered the fastest and accurately as well. Okay. Two's place, Pragya, that was the opening sentence. Jaydev Shivam, good, good. So see, in such cases, this is what happens in 5-sentence parajumbles. A lot of times, students get confused in one pair, right? So hopefully, 4-sentence parajumbles are proving to be easier for you. You must be taking some mock, some sectional tests for them. You must be practicing these outside the exams also. So it's important to practice type in the answer parajumbles. Then only you get better at them. So let's have a look at a 4-sentence one. I hope you answer this faster and accurately. Yes, let's see. Question 2. Varun, that's actually you need to improve on your score. We need at least double the score for an 85 percentile. If you're targeting an 85 percentile, which is the sectional cutoff for some IIMs, right? Most IIMs have it at 80 percentile, but some IIMs also have it at 85 percentile sectional cutoff. So we do need 24, 25, 26. उतना चाहिए होता है VRC. Okay, so you do need to work on your score. Focus on RC accuracy, I believe, because I think if Currently it's a 12. That means there's a lot of scope to improve your accuracy in GRs, RC passages. Okay, so focus on RC passages. That's what I would say. 3124. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. So let's have a look. Everybody is saying 3124. Okay, I've got 13214 also here. Let's see which is the best sequence. Okay, so you think that 3 is the opening sentence. So when I say the fundamental concept, if I accept that this is the uh, opening sentence, the fundamental concept, prices are not predictable, but the mathematical laws of chance can describe their fluctuations. Prices of what am I talking about? And the fundamental concept of what am I talking about? That's my question. The fundamental concept of what? Prices of what? Okay. Then you say that, okay, this fundamental concept emerged from the mathematics of chance and statistics. Okay. But aren't you already saying this here? But the mathematical laws of chance can describe their fluctuations. So you are saying it emerged from the mathematics of chance and statistics. Okay, so you basically think that first the explanation comes and then the concept. All right. Um, it comes from the mathematical laws of chance and statistics. Fine. Therefore, the risk is again risk of what? What am I talking about here? What the price of what? The risk of what? Yes, that is not something that's clear. And then you say this is how what business schools now call modern finance was born. So don't you think that I should state this first so that it's clear that we're talking about prices of assets, financial instruments. So for here, I understand that because it has this is how it looks like a concluding sentence, but in the absence of it, 312 appear to be hanging midair, right? So this is how what business schools now call modern finance was born. See, born and emerged. A thematic clue here, right? I understand that some you related it with the fundamental concept, but it emerged. What emerged? Modern finance. So this is how what business schools now call modern finance was born. It emerged from the mathematics of chance and statistics. What is the fundamental concept of modern finance? Prices are not predictable, but the mathematical laws of chance can describe their fluctuations. Now I know I have context for whose prices I'm talking about, financial instruments. Therefore, the risk is measurable and manageable. Okay, because prices are not predictable. However, mathematical laws of chance can describe their fluctuations. Their fluctuations can be described. Therefore, risk is measurable and manageable. So 3-2 was a very clear pair here. Even if let's say you were confused with what the opening, what the closing sentence is going to be, 3-2 was a clear pair. So I'm happy one of you said 3-2-1-4. Some of you said 3-2-1-4 also. So 3-2 was a clear pair. So it is 4-1-3-2. Very good. King Style, Yaneshwari, and Prajwal. Okay. So 4-1-3-2. Hope this makes sense to everyone. Any query, please ask. I understand that because of this is how it does not look like an opening sentence. So any queries that you have, you can ask. Okay. All right then. Let's have a look at some odd sentence parajumbles. As I said that we'll be attempting more of para summary questions, right? So after typing the answer, let's quickly come to odd sentence parajumbles. Again, 5 sentences will be given to you, right? They are related to a topic. See, they also don't say that they are adjacent sentences, that even those sentences that are related to a topic, if they say that will form a coherent paragraph, but sometimes in your exams, no, what you will feel is that while you are able to see that, okay, out of these 5 sentences, this one does not really belong. You may think that even the other 4, they're not adjacent sentences as such. But you don't have to worry about that. As I said, you don't have to worry about the sequence. Yes, you just have to see which is the most unrelated, and that's it. That's where your job ends. Okay. So let's have a look at these questions and let's let's find the odd sentence out. Meanwhile, there's a query, but didn't fit when I read in the beginning. Uh, okay. So Aditya, I hope now it makes sense that because that is what introduces what we are talking about in the rest of the sentences, modern finance, right? Okay. All right, Chirag, I'll address you as Chirag now that I know your name. So this is your third question. Okay, and you have to identify the odd sentence out here. Let's see what you say. Done. So I've got one response. Let's see what the others say. So I've got 2 and 3 also now. 3. Okay. All right. So quite a few fours. 1, 3. No, some threes. 1, 2 also. Okay. 5. Okay. So Priyanshi, what makes you think 5? All right. Let's have a look at this para jumble where we have to identify the odd sentence. Now, um, all of them actually mention Dilip Kumar, right? And even if you look at, if you look at the fourth one, that does not say Dilip Kumar. So I think that's why a lot of you are saying 4 is the odd sentence out. Yes, but look at it. When I say on the few occasions they allowed us, who are these they? They allowed us to accompany them to movie theaters. We watched them sob unashamedly as tears ran down our cheeks. Yes, so these are our young aunts. Our young aunts cut out filmfare covers on which the big three, Dilip, Devanand, and Raj Kapoor, appeared and reappeared. On the few occasions they allowed us. So basically, we're talking about his stardom. Yes, the extent of his stardom. So 2, 4 looks like it forms a pair. So if we do not have any better option, then probably we could say 4. But if we do, then 2, 4 looks like a pair too. Also, some of you are saying that 3 is the odd sentence out. But aren't we talking about his stardom only? Also, we are talking about 1950s here as well. Yes, Dilip Kumar, of course, became a megastar in the 1950s. I now realize that perhaps similar forces that led Emily Bronte to create a Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights, restrictive Indian society of the Indian 50s, of a restrictive Indian society of the 1950s, where love was a four-lettered word, had willed Hindi films to throw up a brooding, intense, and tragic hero like Dilip Kumar. So here, the author is analyzing as to why he became a mega star in the 50s. What were the conditions in the 50s in the Indian society that actually threw him into the arms of stardom? So 3, 1 again looks like a pair. Okay, fifth says for the Indian subcontinent, Mohammad Yusuf Khan aka Dilip Kumar will undeniably remain one of the greatest popular film stars of old Bollywood. Now, this, while it looks like an introductory sentence, is something that probably may have come in the beginning of this article, that okay, this is what I'm going to talk about. But what is the immediate thing that is being discussed? How he became such a mega star in the 1950s, his popularity in the 1950s. So this one is a general sentence that he will remain one of the greatest popular film stars of old Bollywood. This is a general sentence that would probably come at the beginning of the article or the end of the article. But the focus of this particular paragraph is to analyze the extent of his stardom and to let you know the extent of his stardom in the 1960s. Okay, so 5 is the odd sentence out here, right? I hope this makes sense to you. Yes, yes, yes. 5 is the odd sentence out. Do we agree? Good, good, good. Priyanshi, that you realize that 1 3 is a pair there. 3 1 is a pair actually. Okay. So I hope this makes sense as to why 5 is the odd sentence out. And this is the example of one such question where all the sentences appear to be very related, right? So if you make a 50s connection, then 3 1 is related. If you make the aunt connection, then 2 4 is related. And Dilip Kumar is somehow looks like that he is the theme of this paragraph. So in such sentences, yes, you have to make pairs. Okay. I did not make a complete sequence here. Okay. Although I might have ended up with it, but my focus was to make pairs and elements. That's how you go about such questions where everything appears to be related. Okay? All right, perfect. Let's go to the next question then. 5 sentences again. Find out the odd sentence. Three, yes. Three was deceptive in that sense, that it looked like a general statement. But it related better to one as compared to the last one, which was saying that he'll always remain a mega star. So 3 was deceptive, I agree. Okay, I've got one response. Let's see what the others say. 2, 3, mostly twos. Okay. All right. Two. Okay. So, okay, this is 5. All right. 3. Okay. So 2, 3, 5. 1 and 4, you believe they are related. Okay. Now, again, if you see, we do talk about a lot of things in a lot of sentences which are related to each other. So, for instance, I understand you're saying that 2 is the odd sentence out because that does not talk about oil companies. Okay, that does not talk about scientists. So, it looks like that this is the odd sentence out. Okay. So, scientists and environmental campaigners, they are the parties in this paragraph. Oil companies are the party, the other party, right? Then, what is the when we talk about the media? Yes, when we talk about the media, that is there in first only. Do we talk about the media in the other sentences? Yes. Tell me. Are we talking about the media in the other sentences? I don't think so. Yes. So let's have a look at how 2, 3, 4, 5 they are related. Okay. See, this language here was very helpful, but if we didn't, what did we not do? If we didn't. So when some of us, if we tried to explain, then we were accused. But if we didn't, then the false claims about climate science were given equal or greater weight. So 4-3, no one should have said because 4-3 is a bad. It's like अगर हम बोलते हैं तो भी हमें अक्यूज करते हैं, अगर हम नहीं बोलते हैं तो फिर तो फॉल्स क्लेम्स, तो फिर हार्म ऐसे हो रहा है कि फॉल्स क्लेम्स को क्लाइमेट साइंस का स्टेटस दे दिया जाता है, राइट? दैट इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. So if we tried to explain, we were accused. If we didn't, then these false claims were given the status of climate science. So 4-3 is related. And who are us? Who are this? Who is this we? Who is this us? Scientists and environmental campaigners. This is the topic sentence actually, the fifth one. It states, scientists and environmental campaigners found themselves fighting the oil companies at one step removed, from a distance, and with one hand tied behind their backs, at a disadvantage. So the scientists were at a disadvantage from the very beginning. They were at a distance from the very beginning. Okay. Now, why is this the case that they were disadvantaged? Have one hand tied behind your backs. If you're fighting like that, you're at a disadvantage. So why this disadvantage? After all, who were we? Who were we? Who were these scientists and climate environmental campaigners? A threadbare bunch, a very small bunch. Beside those respectable sounding institutes with offices in Washington or Westminster. So, here, when we say beside those respectable sounding institutes, these institutes are those think tanks that the author is highly suspicious of. The author does not really think that they are the think tanks, right? So, I understand that the media has been mentioned here. Some of you might argue that, but this paragraph is about the fight between scientists, okay, and these oil companies or and basically the think tanks that they were financing, these think tanks that were not really independent think tanks. Okay, so they were fighting oil companies. What the oil companies did, they would actually introduce that, see, this is a data as per the think tank, we are not spoiling the environment. So then when these scientists said that, okay, no, no, you are wrong, then they were accused of being conspiracy theorists. When they did not do that, then the false claims of these independent think tanks were given equal weightage as climate science. Okay, and why were they at a disadvantage? Because these think tanks, they had this aura of respect around them, with offices in big cities like Washington or Westminster. Okay, so this one, if the oil companies are to be held to account, so should the media that amplified their voices. This will probably come later on when the author is giving his or her suggestions that how can we actually remedy this situation. Yes. Also, the media is not the focus here; it's the oil companies and the think tanks. Actually, it is these independent think tanks also that should be punished. So one digresses a little in that sense. One digresses a little in that sense. Right. So, okay, okay. Kaushal, that's okay. Okay. So, I understand that 4 also mentions media, while 1 also mentions media, but 1 is something that will come when the author is giving his or her suggestions as to how this situation can be remedied, how they can have more voice. Okay, that the media should be held to account. Currently, it's about their fight with the oil companies and these think tanks that these oil companies are pitching. The author is talking about the kind of disadvantage that they have. Okay, makes sense? Yes, Aditya, I agree that 4 and 1 are not about the same topic. Clear to everyone? So this will actually, in both these questions, these odd sentence questions, the language you had to read closely. Okay, you had to, for instance, understand that okay, 1950s, 50s, there's a connection there. Our young aunts, there is a connection there. They, them, and this is a relatively broader sentence about his popularity. Similarly, here the tone of the author plus the topic under discussion, you had to read very closely, and that's when you'll be able to identify the odd sentence. Otherwise, all of them appear related. Okay, so these were two difficult questions today from odd sentence out. They were not easy, right? Hope this makes sense to everyone. In case it doesn't, we can always discuss. Okay, just let me know. All right. So para summary. The para summary is an age-old question that comes in CAT. It was there before 2015 also, right? And back then, in some years we used to get para summary, and in some years we used to get para completion. But for the last 7 years, we've been getting para summary only, and this is what we expect this year as well. So here are the questions. The directions are, of course, you're given 4 alternate summaries. You have to find the one that fits the best, that captures the essence of the passage. Please always compare your options. That's your only mantra. That should be your only mantra, only rule. Students ask me, should they focus on more general sentences, more specific sentences? Should they focus on, let's say, one that is narrower or one that is broader? I tell them that you look at your options and compare and find the best one. That's the only rule that works, because sometimes a relatively broader sentence is the one that captures the essence, and sometimes it's the one that appears narrow that may actually capture the essence, or maybe your best bet out of the given options, right? So let's have a look. Question number 5. Let's see what you say. Acha, I'll have to hide myself. I think if some options are not visible to you. Okay, so I've got C's and D's. All right, one B, some B's also. Okay. Okay. Let's have a look at this then. Let me just come back. Okay. All right. So, question number 5, you say, a lot of you say D. Basically, you're confused between D and B. But if you read the part where this is written, instrument of firmament of the supreme law, who is the instrument of firmament of the supreme law? The white umbrella. The ruler so inaugurated. The ruler so inaugurated, whose inauguration took place using this, where, during his inauguration, this Shwet Chhatra or white umbrella was present. The ruler was regarded not as a temporal, a periodic autocrat, but as the instrument of protective and sheltering firmament of supreme law. Firmament means heaven, or basically heaven when seen as covering you, sheltering you, right? But as the instrument of protective and sheltering firmament of supreme law. So the ruler is that instrument. The white umbrella is not that instrument. This is erroneous. This is, we could say, false, inaccurate as per our paragraph. So B is eliminated. D is the answer. The varied use of the umbrella symbolized the common basis of the non-theocratic nature of states in the Indian tradition. So it's capturing the Indian tradition first of all. It's capturing this part about non-theocratic, also how it was a common basis. So this is what is the focus here. We are focused on the white umbrella, right? And what else did I get? C also I got from some of you. Was it sovereign political authority? No. That is just the first sentence, okay, that the umbrella was a symbol of sovereign political authority. That's not the only thing that my paragraph wants to convey. It was not just a symbol of sovereign political authority, it also provided a common basis wherein our states were not organized on the basis of religion. It symbolized a non theocratic nature of states. Non theocratic means non religious. So that's why B is a better answer. Okay, perfect. All right. So, Team Dark Avengers, you have to show your love by hitting the like button. Right. So, when Prajwal said, please become invisible, that somehow reminded me of that episode from Big Boss, where one of the contestants tells the other, just disappear, just disappear. So, that's what it reminded me of. Yes. D is the answer. Coming to our next question. Okay. Again, I'll hide myself in some corner and you please read the sixth one and tell me what's the best answer choice. Okay, just three responses. What about others? All right. So far a lot. Four threes, five threes. Okay. Okay. Another four. Absolutely. And three is incorrect also. It's generalizing something that has been stated as a specific case in the paragraph. Okay, so let me make a comeback. Yes, and then I'll explain this. So, here, let's first understand what this paragraph is trying to tell me. Okay, see, you may not understand it perfectly in the exam, 100% in the exam, but if you get the gist of it, that's also fine. So, these 19th century liberals, they actually dread the version of democracy that was given by Rousseau. Why do they dread it? Because in this, an inspired lawgiver, one person, was interpreting the will of the people. Now, nowadays, Nowadays, however, people don't dread this version of Rousseau. People think it's fine, these fears of these 19th century liberals were elitist. Okay, but these old-fashioned liberals, these guys, they grasped a vital truth. They understood something important. So this is therefore this is important for me also when I'm trying to summarize this. What is that vital truth? Popular government has no necessary connection with the freedom of individuals or minorities. Okay. Of course, liberals today will say that this can be remedied, this can be addressed by installing the rule of constitutional rights. That if we have constitutional rights, then nobody will be disadvantaged. Even the minorities, their rights will be taken care of, individual rights will be taken care of. But see, what is the author's view? The author's view has to figure in the summary. Such systems are fragile, however, and count for nothing when large sections of society are indifferent or actively hostile to liberal values. So, when do such systems become fragile? The system of constitutional rights, when large sections of society are indifferent or actively hostile to liberal values. Three is generalizing this, that constitutional rights are fragile and ineffective in ensuring protection of the freedom of individuals in any democracy. No, not in any democracy, only where large sections of society are indifferent or actively hostile to liberal values. Okay. Also, we're not talking about the rights themselves, but the systems based on these rights. Okay. Then, where this is the case, that the democracy means not much more than the tyranny of the majority, when majority is against liberal values. Okay. So, popular governments in illiberal democracies, if see majority is against liberal values, that will be an illiberal democracy, right? So, popular governments in illiberal democracies use the power of the majority, use the power of the majority to clamp down on the freedom of minorities, to clamp down on the freedom of minorities, right? So, fourth is the best fit here. Okay, in case some of you were confused with 1 and 2 also, 1 says inspired lawgivers in liberal democracies are better equipped to interpret and implement the will of the people than in illiberal democracies. Do we talk about inspired lawgivers beyond this sentence? This one sentence where I discussed this person inspired lawgiver. Today such fears are dismissed as harm. So Rousseau said this, that an inspired lawgiver interprets and implements the will of the people in Rousseau's version of democracy. Are we comparing this, that how will this person act in a liberal democracy versus how this person will act in an illiberal democracy? We're not making this comparison altogether. We then start talking about popular governments. Okay, so this comparison has not been made, and that's why 1 cannot be the answer. I think nobody has said 1 also. Okay, now coming to 2. No, we'll finish earlier than 1. I think you might have another session at 1. Second says 19th century liberals believe that democracy means not much more than the tyranny of the majority. This is so distorted. Okay, they said that they were actually dreading just one form of democracy, which was given by Rousseau. They did not dismiss democracy like this, 19th century liberals, not at all. So 2 has to be eliminated. Okay. So I think 2, 3, even 1, when you read them carefully, they could be easily eliminated in this. I didn't find this question to be extremely difficult once you even understood the broad things here. I have explained each and everything to you, but even if you pick up the broad thing by reading this paragraph, you could eliminate using the options. Okay. Yes, correct, Prajwal. That could be one basis. Correct. Okay. So I hope this makes sense. Acha, fourth, again, just a second. Why is fourth the answer? Because the whole point of the author is that while today, people have started accepting Rousseau's version, where one person or one government is implementing the will of the people. That's how democracies are, no, in a lot of countries, in our country also, right? We select or elect our representatives, and then they implement the will of the people, right? So, however, the author is saying that the old-fashioned liberals actually understood a vital truth. They understood this fact that popular government, governments elected or elected by the masses, it may not really be concerned with the freedom of individuals or minorities, particularly when the majority itself is hostile to liberal values. Right? I think you can draw a parallel. I don't want to say it outrightly, but you can draw a parallel with politics in a lot of countries today. Right? So, where this is the case, and when this is the case, then democracy means not much more than the tyranny of the majority. I hope this makes sense, Jatin, that this is the whole point that the author wants to make, that yes, it may be the case that popular government, when the democracy itself, when large sections are not very liberal, they actually tyrannize over the minority. One could be eliminated because of the comparison. Absolutely, Pratik. Dan is used for a comparison here, right? Okay. So I hope this makes sense and we can proceed. All right, then. Let's have a look at question number 7. Okay. So read it. I'll disappear and then we'll discuss once you're done. Okay. I've got 2 responses. So find the one that most comprehensively covers the paragraph. All right. Eliminate anything that is not given in the paragraph, anything that is external to the paragraph, anything that is false as per the paragraph, that also has to be eliminated. Okay. So 3, a lot of 2's and a couple of 4's. That's it? That's what everyone says? Okay then. Very few responses, but okay, I'll do with this. Uh, let's have a look. See, so here we had to compare the options. This was that sort of a para summary where you might have felt that no option is covering everything. First of all, we did not have to really cover these examples, BuzzFeed wise, Huffington Post, right? We didn't have to really cover these examples. Okay. Now, if you look at one, it talks about something called editorial insight. Editorial insight. Have we discussed editorial insight anywhere? We've talked about editorial sensibility, but editorial insight, No. Okay, we've talked about editorial investments also. But insight ki baat, we haven't done. Okay, we haven't discussed insight at all. Uh, has eroded the very nature of journalism. That also, in a sense, is a little extreme to say. We are saying that today this has, in a way, basically it has compromised. Yes, it has compromised journalism to some extent, but saying that it has eroded the very nature of journalism, that is a little extreme. Okay, so on these two bases, my first basis was this only, that I searched and I didn't find editorial insight anywhere. Then when I read the word, the very nature of journalism, I'm always suspicious of such extreme words. Okay, so I thought that this is not probably the answer. Let me look at my other options. Two, the ethos of detachment. Okay, yes, detachment is a major point that has been discussed in the passage, in the paragraph. The ethos of detachment and social consciousness. Have we discussed social consciousness though? I did not find social consciousness anywhere in any of the sentences. So I felt, okay, this is additional. Probably even this is not the answer. Okay. Uh, Coming to the third one, by playing to the audience. Yes, the pursuit of audience has been discussed. Yes, uh, they and by because they want audience, they are in the pursuit of audience. They have allowed the endless feedback loop of the web. What is the feedback loop of the web? The seeing what your audience wants in an online platform. The feedback loop of the web, and that is shaping their editorial sensibility. That is determining where they are going to make their editorial investments, which news they are going to cover, which they are not going to cover. Okay, how they are going to report on a particular topic, how they're not going to report on it. So they are playing to the audience. By playing to the audience means, you are dancing on the instructions of the audience. So by playing to the audience, media giants that have engulfed journalism today, we are talking about the fact that they dominate journalism today. Engulfed did seem a little extreme to me. Okay, so it's not like I was readily convinced with three, but then I'll compare. That have engulfed journalism today have shattered the myth of detachment. Yes, earlier we at least had this myth of detachment, and this myth mattered. But today they do not have any patience for the old ethos of detachment. So, in a way, they have ended up shattering this myth. And this is important. Yes, they have compromised editorial sensibility. This is something that's here. So, the point of this paragraph is to talk about how these media giants have changed something that was the case earlier. And today, journalism's editorial sensibility stands compromised because of the pursuit of audience. This thought had to be captured in the summary. Let's look at fourth. Why not fourth? The steady rise in the role of media giants in journalism and the strategic pursuit of the audience has had a damaging effect on the quality of journalism and its ethos. Ethos is fine. Has it had a damaging effect on the quality? Can I make a judgment on this? And in fact, my paragraph is telling me that they have done some excellent reporting. They employ some first rate journalists. They've produced some of the most memorable pieces of investigative journalism in this century. So, this is in a way going against my paragraph. So after a lot of analysis, right, I realized that one has two problems, two big problems. Four is going against the paragraph. Between two and three, which is better? Of course, three, because two is talking about something called social consciousness, which has not been discussed at all in my paragraph. Right? From the last sentence. Uh, the social consciousness, no, social consciousness is when you are aware of what is happening in your society, right? Also, you want to act against whatever evils exist in the society. That's a social consciousness, right? So that has not really been discussed. We are talking about it being a public spirited enterprise caring for the people, but still that does not translate to social consciousness, and this one definitely does not. Okay, social consciousness is a positive thing. This is a negative thing in the last sentence. Yes, correct. So three is the answer. I hope this is clear to you. I would not call it a very easy question. Through elimination, however, you could attempt it. Okay. So this was about the seventh question. I hope whatever I was marking was visible to you. I just realized that I was coming in front of the text. So these were some questions for today. Uh, how the audience That is not social consciousness, Pragya. How the audience, basically, when you tailor your content according to the audience, that does not make you a socially conscious person. Maybe your audience itself is not very socially conscious. It does not want to talk about the issues that form the major issues of our time. Something you can actually see happening in our journalism today, right? Okay. So yes, I think all of you are aware of this, that we'll be coming up with a detailed analysis of all the slots. So you can join us at these times, 12:30, 4:30, 8:30 on 27th of November, right? And we'll not just give you an analysis, we'll also release a score calculator. We'll give you some memory-based questions. We are going to talk about expected cutoffs, very important, and what your good attempts in each section should have been, right? All these things will be discussed, so do join us. This is our CAT 23 comprehensive program for any of your friends who are preparing, right? And we offer a lot of things in this: live lectures, recorded lectures, mock tests, practice tests, okay, and support for stage 2 as well, GDPI and WAPs. Okay, coming to our mock series. This is our mock test series where there are a lot of non-CAT mocks, something that is going to be increasingly relevant for you just after CAT. Yes, IST, XAT, SNAP, okay, all these exams. So you can consider buying this. And this is our last lab, which is already going on at 7 p.m. every day. Do join us for very focused sessions, okay, where we discuss some of the common issues that students face towards the end. Yes? All right then. Some catchy words. Kaushal, I would say that always be on the lookout for extreme words and additional words. If some words are not mentioned at all in your paragraph and they can't even be inferred from any paraphrasing, like social consciousness यहाँ पे discussed ही नहीं था, then that is not an answer. Similarly, if my paragraph does not use any superlatives, does not use words like definitely, proven, etc., then such extreme words actually disqualify an option from being the correct answer. So always be on the lookout of such extreme words or additional words. All right. Yes, and you can stay connected with us. Yes, this is our Telegram channel and this is our Facebook and Insta handle, right? So see you tomorrow then with another session with more such questions, more discussions. This is it for today. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Welcome.